Hey beauts, welcome to Pretty Scary, the channel where I create easy to follow, budget friendly looks for you to recreate at home. And today I'm very excited because it's the first day of 31 days of Halloween. Excited but a little bit exhausted. And anyway, we're starting off today with a bang with this Stalker from the computer game The Last of Us. So if you'd like to recreate this at home, keep watching. Hi! Right, first of all I start off by blocking out my eyebrows and having a quick drink, and then going straight in with Clown White by Snazaroo, which is a cream based white. I'm just stippling that all over my face, neck and chest, basically any areas of skin that will be showing. And I'm stippling this in a very random fashion. It doesn't need to be nice and even. In fact, you don't want it to be even because you want to look mouldy. And then taking some water-based paints, black and white, mixing them together to form a grey, and then again randomly stippling this over the top to create that mouldy appearance. And then taking some green and doing exactly the same thing. Once I was satisfied with my level of mouldiness, I then took a baby wipe and just stippled this over the top. This helps to kind of blend the colours.
With these appearances, these effects are brought about seemingly without any...
After that fiancé-based invasion, I then went on to do some shading using a grey smoky eyeshadow and shading around the eyes. Make sure you use a reference picture of one of the stalkers and keep looking back at it to make sure you get the right kind of shape around the eye. Can't really explain what kind of shape this is, but you can see what I'm doing. You get the picture. You also want to take the shading around the nose, again to increase that mouldy feel, and also around the mouth. This also helps to shape the features too, to emulate the picture of the stalker. And I'm also just painting some lines around the mouth. Not really quite sure why I did that, but it looked good. Just putting my stalker face there. And now it's time for the fun bit, time to create those areas of fungus. So using good old latex and cotton wool, first of all you want to kind of mess up your cotton wool so it's all kind of piecey and not too fluffy. And then just using a little bit of latex, stick it onto areas of your face to create a kind of fungal effect. Beautiful. You can put on as much or as little fungus as you like. I just went with what was on the picture, but you can create your own stalker look if you prefer, and just extending that fungus down onto the chest also. Once those patches of fungus are stuck in place, go over with a little bit more latex just to seal them into place and make them easier to paint also. Now in the picture this stalker has a really big patch of fungus on his or her head, and so I'm just building up that area with a big thick piece of cotton wool, and then I'll be sticking on some pre-made pieces which you will see in a minute. I didn't film the making of these pieces because they're pretty easy and pretty self-explanatory. I literally just made the pieces out of Crayola Model Magic, which is a foam like clay which kind of dries down. It doesn't go hard, it stays foam-like. Here are said pieces that I'm describing now. As you can see, yeah, it's flexible, like I just said. So it stays kind of foam-like, which is perfect for this because it means that they're lightweight and they will conform to the contours of your face. And then I just painted them basically with some alcohol paint, but you can use water-based paint if that's all you've got, or even some makeup. And then just using some skin adhesive, I just stuck those down to the face to make myself look even more mouldy and even more infected. Make sure you let the glue dry to make it go tacky before you stick the pieces on. This glue is basically a kind of a Prozaid replacement. I did try and order some Prozaid, but a load of people from Pinewood Studio had gone into the shop that I'd ordered it from and bought out their whole stock of Prozaid. So my online order had to be changed. How dare they? Anyway, back onto the tutorial, and you can see I'm just sticking all those pieces down. I just used the reference picture to know how to shape the pieces when I was making them. So some long tendril like pieces and some little spongy like pieces. If you don't want to make these, you could always use natural sponges for the sponge like funguses, and you could use latex and cotton wool for the long tendrily pieces. The world is your oyster. Make your fungus how you will. Now I'm just sealing in my fungus with a little bit of latex, just to kind of make sure it's well stuck down to the face. One thing I forgot to mention is you must clean away the face paint in the areas where you want to stick down your fungus, because otherwise the glue won't adhere as well and you will find that your fungus is falling off, which is a little bit embarrassing when you're trying to eat a sausage roll at your Halloween party. Once all your fungus is in place and the latex is fully dry, it's time to paint. Now I'm using some alcohol based paints again here, but you can just use very watered down water based face paints if you prefer, or if that's all you've got. And I'm just stippling over a very translucent layer of black and then just patting that in with a sponge. What you want to do is build up sheer layers of colour so that it doesn't look too painted on and it looks more organic. Then I'm just going in with a smaller brush and painting around that big fungus forehead piece. Now using that same black shade, I'm just painting around each of the tendrily fungus pieces, just to create a little bit of shadow and just to help blend them into the skin a little bit better. And just really creating a dark shadow at the top of those tendrils there to blend them into my skin. Now going in with a little bit more solid black in certain areas just to highlight those fungal pieces. And then I'm just powdering all the areas of dry latex because I realised it was looking rather shiny and you don't want that. Now I've switched to some water-based face paints and I've mixed a kind of a greyish pink colour using red, white and black, and I'm just painting those over these tendrils. Now I had pre-painted the tendrils, but once I'd put everything together against the colours on the face they looked too pale and washed out, so I'm just going back over them again. You can pre-paint them a little bit darker to start with and learn from my mistake, or you can just stick them on the face and paint them once they're on your face and you can assess the colours. It's really entirely down to you, whatever you prefer. Now I'm going in with my favourite shadow colour, Deepen by Laura Mercier. Those of you who watch me a lot will know I use this a hell of a lot. And I'm just deepening up those shadows around the eyes, around the nose and also around the tendrily pieces. Just applying them with a stippling brush and then just blending them with a fluffy brush. A little bit more under the eyes as well and around the mouth because I felt those areas needed darkening. I then decided to go in with a little bit of black water-based face paint and just deepen up those areas in that massive patch of fungus. I then did the same around those smaller pieces of fungus. This is just kind of like the fine tuning or the kind of faffing about at the end of the makeup that I do like to do. And what is mouldy skin without manky hair? The final touch is just to run some conditioner through your hair to make it look really manky and zombie-ish, with the added benefit that you'll have nice deep conditioned hair by the end of the night. Bonus! Now in the picture there are some fungus pieces sticking up out of the top of the head, so I made these and then glued them to the face or pinned them in place. Now learn from my mistake again here. I made these out of Model Magic and then attempted to grip them into my hair, but Model Magic is actually quite fragile and it did kind of break, so your best bet is to make the pieces and glue them to a grip and then grip them into your hair that way, and then they won't break. So yeah, again, learn from my mistakes. That's what I'm here for. I make the mistakes so that you don't have to. But this was fine just for a few minutes for photo, but it wouldn't hold up for a whole party. And then the final finishing touch is some nice manky teeth. Now I'm using alcohol based paints. Make sure you dry your teeth thoroughly before you start painting. You can buy dedicated tooth enamels which you just paint on and it does exactly the same job. I'm using a mixture of yellow and black just to look really glam and beautiful. And we are done. I hope you enjoyed this first day of my 31 days of Halloween. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, then please do, because there are 30 more tutorials like this coming your way. YouTube is continuing to limit my videos, so please share them. It would mean the world to me and help me out so much. Love you all. See you tomorrow.